Aloha! My name is Joelle Seashell. I am your local realtor here on the island of Oahu, and I want to talk to you about 5 important things you need to know before making the move to the islands. Now, these 5 things are some of the most frequently asked questions that I get from my clients who are making the transition from the mainland to the islands. And I want you to stick around to the end to hear some tips from me on how you can save some money in the move and save money while you're living on the island. Now, those tips are going to be very important because, and this leads me to my first point, living on the islands is expensive. Now, here in the state of Hawaii, we have the second highest income tax rate in the nation, so that's important. We pay some of the highest prices for housing. We also pay some of the highest prices for utilities. And we here on the islands import 90% of the food we consume at a cost of around $3 billion a year, which means that we pay the highest prices in the nation for food as well. So please make sure that you're taking all of this into account as you budget and decide if living on the islands is right for you. Another thing to keep in mind is if you are a pet owner, you're going to want to familiarize yourself with how to get your pet into the state. So Hawaii is the only rabies-free state in the nation, and we want to keep it that way. Additionally, we have a very fragile ecosystem, so we want to make sure that we're protecting our islands, and for that reason, you are going to want to make sure that you are vetting your pets through the proper process. So if you're bringing your pet in from the mainland, you are going to have 3 options. You can either have direct airport release, you can have a 5-day or less program for the release of your pet, or it could take 120 days or 4 months of quarantine for your pet. So you're going to want to make sure that you've fully researched exactly how to bring your pet to the island and hopefully minimize the amount of time that they're being held. So point number 3 that I wanted to cover is going to be shipping your car to the islands. Now, I know that when military families get relocated to the islands, a lot of times the military will pay for at least 1 car to be shipped. And so if that's the case, obviously you don't have to worry about it. But if you're considering sending a car to the islands, you're going to want to research the cost. Now, I recently had a client who lived on the East Coast, and it's obviously going to be much more expensive to ship a car from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast to then have it be sent over to the islands. So what she did was she actually, for the last little bit that she was on the mainland, road tripped from her home on the East Coast to the West Coast, put her car on the ship there, and then flew over. So when considering whether or not to ship your car, you're going to want to obviously factor in how old the car is, how much you paid for it, and maybe take a look, glance online and see what cars are available on island. See if it might be worth your while to perhaps sell your car on the mainland and then purchase another car once you're on island. Tip number 4, I would say, would be please keep in mind that we're living in a tropical climate, and so with that, you're going to have a lot of bugs, and you're going to have roaches, more than likely, that pop up inside your house, possibly outside the house. In fact, the other day, I went to walk my dog. I put on my shoes, which I keep outside on the shoe rack, and I started walking down the road. Halfway down the block, I felt something inside my shoe. I took my shoe off. I was standing there on the sidewalk in my sock, and I found a half-crushed roach deep within my shoe. So just keep in mind that always check your shoes before you put them on. Once you arrive on island, you actually find yourself spending way more time outside than you do inside, from the endless amounts of adventures that you can go on in the mountains, hiking, waterfalls, to enjoying beaches and just swimming in the ocean. It's often the case that your life will change. Your lifestyle will be more outside focused than inside focused once you move from the mainland to the islands. What to let go of and what to bring with you. Anything that you bring with you, especially the larger furniture items and whatnot, it can really start adding on to the bill of shipping everything over here. So you might want to consider minimizing the amount of stuff that you bring with you. Okay guys, you've made it past my 5 main points that I wanted to cover, and so here are a few tips to help you save money while you live on the island. So first thing first, we live in a tropical environment, endless summer. So that means a couple different things. You could grow your own vegetables and food. I have some backyard chickens that were making noise at the earlier part of the video here. And so utilizing the land and what it has to offer can be of a benefit to help offset the cost of food. Second thing would be solar panels. If you can either buy or rent a home that has solar panels, that can help offset your utility bills. Where you live on the island is also going to make a difference as well. I live in the back of a valley. It's cool and rainy back here. We don't use AC at all. So solar panels and location matter. Additionally, it's endless summer like I mentioned. So I ride a motorcycle pretty much everywhere I go. That helps to offset the cost of gas. You can also pedal bike. If you live in a centralized location and close to work, that's what I did for the first 3 years I was out here, is I would get my morning exercise on the way to work, and then I would have another half an hour pedal bike ride on the way home. Also, when we go shopping for groceries, buy in bulk. So check out Costco and Sam's Club. So there's a few tips for you on how to live and manage expenses once you make it to the island. Thank you for tuning into my video. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Stay tuned because I have more coming your way. Aloha.